James's review of Milon's Secret Castle was a review that many don't watch as much as the others. It's definitely not a bad video, it's still funny as hell, but it was one of those games that wasn't as popular as most of the other games that he's played. However, Milon's Secret Castle is actually a game that I played as a kid, so just for fun, let's see if this game is really that bad. First off, it doesn't look bad. The game that's shown in James's video actually looks like a pretty fun game. I only remember a little bit about my personal experience with the game, so this should be interesting. Well, the title screen looks promising enough. Let's get started. Now let's take a look at our main character. That's right, this little character that looks like a 3-year-old trick-or-treating as Link is our main character, Milon. He's supposedly a wizard of some sort, but he's easily the sorriest excuse for a wizard that I've ever seen in a video game. You start off outside of a castle on the lower level and you have a few doors that you can access. The first door leads you into a room that introduces us to our enemies and the main gameplay. It's here that you realize how limited Milon is. He has a terrible jump and his main weapon is bubbles. I would expect a wizard to have a wand rather than bubbles. I wouldn't mind them so much if they went further because they're actually pretty effective on all the main enemies. All it takes is one hit to kill them, so they're not entirely useless. But you have to be right next to the enemy to actually hit them, and you have to really jam on the D-pad to get them to go where you want them to. Another thing is the enemies themselves. What the hell are they? Only 2 enemies are somewhat identifiable. You have a bird and a bee. The rest of them are hard to figure out. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what warped imagination designed these things, but they're weird. When you kill the enemies, they will occasionally leave a heart behind for you to get for your health. However, one big problem is that they reappear not even 5 seconds after killing them, which sucks if you're in a corner. It should also be noted that only your bubbles kill them. You can't stomp on them or do anything else. How fun is that? Upon arrival into the first level, you immediately realize that you have no clue what to do. This game is not the least bit self-explanatory and leaves you no hints on what you're doing in any of the levels. My cartridge didn't come with an instruction manual, but from what I can gather, that's useless too. You have to break blocks, but you'll never know which ones to break on the first go-around with the game. You can go into all the doors on the lower level. You can go in any order that you want. You can either get the shrink potion first or the spring shoes first. I usually went for the spring shoes first because it's actually the easiest to get. Each level has just enough dollars to get what you need. The first level has exactly $16, which is what the spring shoes cost, while the second level has more than enough for the potion. While the game is not very self-explanatory, it's clear that you have to go from the lower level to the upper level of the castle eventually. This is where the game is the biggest tease. When you enter the door, you start off at the bottom of that particular level. You eventually have to find another door, which is always located at a much higher area of the level. So you think this is the door to the upper level, but no, it leads you straight out the same door. This would be the point when most people would shut off the game. By watching James's video, I realized what to do, but still had trouble with it. I literally spent 3 hours on the lower level. It took me forever to make it to the first boss because I kept dying. Milon's health meter is not the least bit generous. As James stated, Milon doesn't react to hits the same way Mario or Link do, where they fade or blink, making them immune to damage for a while. Milon just takes hit after hit after hit without fading out, which means that his health depletes at a much faster rate, especially with the bosses because like I said before, Milon's bubbles don't go very far, so you have to be very close to the boss while he's shooting relentlessly at you. I don't know how James got past him, but he deserves a medal for it because I never could do it. The first boss is where I always shut the console off in complete rage because I just can't believe how extremely bad the experience was. Graphically, the game, again, looks promising. It's actually a decent looking game for the most part. The levels are pretty well designed and the enemies look okay. The music is just hell on the ears, especially the level music, because it's just that long, boring tune that has that wonderful sound that makes you think that your ears are going to bleed. So overall, it's just a painful experience. Nothing in this game is explained well at all. You have to take wild guesses a lot of the time and hope that you're going in the right path to win the game. It's a game that wants to be Legend of Zelda but fails in all categories. Well everyone, that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening and I will see you next time.